It's uncompromising, addictive, and often unforgiving, with an adrenaline rush like no other. There is no practice, no second chances. It is the ultimate motorsport competition on gravel. It is rally, and this is the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship. Welcome to the Scouts Rally SA, coming to you from the Adelaide Hills. I'm Greg Rust. In today's show, we feature an outstanding selection of classics from all parts of the globe, including the car that sent the rally world into a frenzy in the 1980s, the Audi Quattro. Dr. Bill is back in the cost-effective Suzuki Vitara SUV. And while he might not frighten the East Coast Bull Bars four-wheel drive National Series contenders, and not intends to, but he'll also have half an eye on his competition in the State Championship. And let's not forget the ARMORALL Power Stage. 5 crucial bonus championship points on offer for the fastest outright two-wheel drive cars in a special sprint stage that's coming up right now. Last round, Scott Pedder had the upper hand in the ARMORALL Power Stage after Brendan Reeves crashed out in the qualifying run. Reeves still leads Pedder by 16 points coming into the pre-event Power Stage, so it's shaping up to be a great contest. As always, only championship-registered competitors can qualify for the ARMORALL Power Stage, and they have just one qualifying run to get themselves into the fastest 5.
We're here in the Mt Crawford Forest for the running of the 4th ARMORALL Power Stage. Now overnight it's been heavy rain and it's changed the road conditions completely. Also a number of creeks have appeared to add to the hazards. As far as the competition goes, Scott Pedder has won 2 heats, Brendan Reeves 1. Can Brendan equalise him on this one? And there are 2 Citroens and 1 VW also chasing bonus points. This is going to be one hell of a power stage.
Yep, it sure will be. Let's take a look at the stage now, a repeat of last year's successful course. It's an immediate left after the start, leading into the ECB hairpin. Another left through a gate leads down to the first of 2 splits, Can-Am Corner. Across Pedder's Hump, teams then have a hard right, then left, before the mine shaft, leading to the second split, Polaris Pinch. On the longest straight in the stage, cars should reach more than 150 kilometres an hour before negotiating a chicane through the gum trees. The Scouts Gate marks the final run to the finish flag, right on another jump. In all, a total of 2.8 kilometres. Dean's out on the track waiting for Ross Dunkerton, who's been driving the course.
It's that time of the show when we speak to our expert commentator Ross Dunkerton, 5 times national champion. He checks out the ARMORALL Power Stage, and this time he's doing it in something very special. Jack Moncas, you're waiting expectantly for something.
Yeah, I'm ready to start the rally, and I could hear a familiar sound in the forest. I'm like, it's my car. So I thought I'd go for a wander in the bush, and there it is with old Dunker having a go. Yeah,
around the Power Stage. Now, you're here, not registered for points, but it's great to be here in Scouts Rally SA. Yeah,
for sure. Obviously, non-registered competitors can't do the Power Stage, but I'm here supporting Scouts and ready to start the rally.
Fantastic to have you here, and I bet you're waiting for Dunker to hand these keys back.
Pretty keen to get back in the car.
Oh my goodness me.
Baby! You need to push the red button to turn it off.
Hey, why does it want to keep jumping in the air all the time?
Because, Dunker, it's only used to full throttle, Dunker. Full throttle, that is all you get on this car.
It is a weapon.
Ross Dunkerton, you're waiting for the commentary box now, mate. This is hard work, this driving around the ARMORALL Power Stage, isn't it?
It certainly is. But I tell you what a great stage. It is really a great stage. Of course, we've used it last year, but it's rained a little bit, and there's 2 places where the water is actually going across the track. Also, there's a sort of a right-hander where there's a big pool, like a lake, where if they get a bit too wide, they'll slip into that. But apart from that, it's fantastic. There's a couple of off-cambered corners, there's the mine shaft, a couple of hairpins. It's all together. What a great stage.
What we love about it is sometimes the power stages can be a little bit Mickey Mousey and tarmac, which is great in their own right. This is a Forest ARMORALL Power Stage, isn't it?
It's a proper stage. It's like the rest of the event. Like, it's not just separated. This is a rally stage.
Conditions is what everyone's talking about. They just said pools of water flooding across there. Ross Duncan going for full points. Would it be maximum attack for you, or would you just be trying for a neat run and hopefully the time would be good enough?
In this car, maximum attack!
Well, it is fairly chilly out here, Rusty. We're going to go back to you with all the qualifying highlights. And lucky you, Dunko, you get to go in the heated commentary box, mate. We're looking forward to this one.
Thank you, Dean. Air conditioning is on and ready. As we've seen overnight, the rain has made this track very slippery and everyone struggled with grip. The Walkinshaw Performance Renault was first cab off the rank and set a time of 2 minutes 0.08. It was a fast time and no one would match Scott Pedder and Dale Moscott. Brendan Reeves and Rhiannon Gelsomino discovered that two teams had used Kumo 700 mud tyres allowed under the rules, and one of them was their main opposition. It may not have affected the outcome, but advantaged Pedder in the psychological race. Tony Sullins was the other on mud tyres, but the run was less than satisfactory and he and Julia Barkley settled for third. The second Citroen DS3 was a full second slower. Adrian Coppin and Tim Batten completing their qualifying run in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. The Warhope Warrior slipped his way around the track, Michael Bowden and Helen Cheers just making the final five, while Alan Rowe in the Ford Focus returned after making the final in WA, only to miss out here. He and Steve Glennie will start as the wildcards, but remember, no points on offer for them. So, Michael Bowden, Adrian Coppin, Tony Sullins, Brendan Reeves and Scott Pedder line up for the bonus championship points in the ARMORALL Power Stage, coming to you from Scouts Rally SA. All set for the ARMORALL Power Stage at Scouts Rally SA. Since qualifying, the heavens have opened up. Fortunately, the weather front is moving on and hopefully we'll get through the final before it strikes again. Dean?
So just missed out on getting in the finals, but they're our wild card, and just before the weather comes in, Alan Rowe, Steve Glennie, great to have you back though. We obviously missed Queensland and you're back for this one.
Yeah, that's right. Certainly looking forward to it here at Scouts SA Rally. It's good roads, good tracks, apart from the rain.
Yeah, apart from the rain, as you say, the conditions being the wild card here, is this a good little stepping stone for the weekend for you guys?
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, we can use it as some practice and just trying to keep learning, that's all.
Well, like I said, mate, great to have you back and good luck for this one.
Thanks, Dave.
With the hugely experienced Steve Glennie beside him, a guy who's just as capable behind the wheel, the Ford Focus sets off. How tricky are these conditions, Ross?
Well, he just lost a bit of time off the start. He comes up to a left-hander where he's going to cut in nice and tight. He's come through. The next corner is the one. If you can set it up, it's a big U-turn. As they come in, throws it sideways. Look at this. Does it nicely.
Turn 3 left mid. Gate on exit. 200.
Come up through a gate. They've got to thread the needle through here. Cut nicely.
200 here.
Just
70.
searching for the traction. Looks like he's short shifting a little, Ross, and that's not exactly a silly move. Up to the split. This will give us the benchmark for future runs, and look how slippery it is there.
First river crossing. There it is. There's plenty of rain.
10 right.
Now this next corner is a right-hander and it's off camber. Let's see how he goes through here. Very, very slippery.
It's the Petter's hump.
Late.
Trying to arrest all that speed. That's how slippery it is. Particularly we've got a bit of shade from the trees at that point too.
Bit of understeer as you saw as you come through. Now this is where you hold on to your hat, because up they come to the mine shaft and over the top.
Down the bottom here is Care. Turn 3 left, narrow. At the
Second
white
split
posts.
coming up. Another river crossing just here.
Here it is. Becomes 4.
That's the Polaris pinch. So now it's a case of really opening the throttle, stretching the legs of this car and seeing what the Focus has to offer.
Caution, 8 right.
We come to the high-tech point to get the speed. 152, that's a good run through there. This is a tricky corner. Blind crest into a sloppy corner, and he's lost that. Valuable time lost there.
Turn 3 right late. Don't. Late. 100 over brow.
He's only just got through there.
Turn 5 right late. 70.
Up over the crest. Now a big long straight to the jump that's right on the finishing line.
Jump over finish.
Alan Rowe and Steve Glennie at 2:21.5. That's our benchmark time for the ARMORALL Power Stage in South Australia.
Yeah, quite enjoyable, that's for sure. Because we were last in the last stage and then first in there, look, it's definitely wetter, but yeah, it still wasn't too bad.
Let's go to the Kumo tyre replay and have a look at this, Ross.
Yeah, that's the hardest corner of the whole stage, in fact. And then he's got through here, but picked up the edge of the lake, but managed to not drop in there.
Alan Rowe and Steve Glennie take the top spot, but our first qualifier is on the line with Dean.
Michael Bowden and Helen Cheers just scraping into the final there, but you've got a bit of time to make up if you want to impact the points, mate.
I think it's going to be a tough weekend. It's going to be come down to a bit more sensible driving. I just want to get some more points, a bit more time in the car. We've done a lot of changes since the last round, so yeah, no, look, the car's feeling good. I just got to have a bit more confidence in it.
And look, the confidence is coming in the car, and the fact that the last round of Queensland was a great weekend for you guys in this Volkswagen, wasn't it?
That's correct, yeah. So, like, just a bit more time, Dino, and yeah, you never know what could happen by the end of the weekend.
Oh, mate, I reckon have a go on this one. This is a bit of you this stage.
Well, I need a bit more time in the car, so this is it.
Standard answer, but good luck today. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
I tried, fellas, but he wasn't having a bar of it.
Good work, Dean. New engine in this car. And the Warhope Warrior loves to have a go. He's away. Lots of wheel spin off the line in the ARMORALL Power Stage. Love the sound of the Polo.
Let's see how he goes. Similar line to the Ford. Let's see how he sets it up to go around this one. Sets it up early. Throws it in. Nicely done. Holds the power on. Oh, went too wide there. That's a couple of seconds down on that one.
Remember the weather conditions, enormously tricky sideways through there.
What?
But the rain we had before, between qualifying and this run, the sun's come out, it's drying a bit now. It's really tough for the competitors. Let's check the split here. And at the Can-Am split, he's up relative to that time of Alan Rowe.
Tell you what, went through there very nicely. The water seems to be getting dispersed from that river crossing. Up over the crest into that right hand, up Pedder's corner. It's very muddy through there, slides out all the road, pulls it back, takes a big wide line to get over this crest into the mine shaft.
Look how much he's up at the Polaris pinch too. It's a significant gain. We're in that final sector now.
High-tech speed, looking for it. Grabs another gear. He's honking.
Wow.
Oh.
So compared to Alan Rowe, Rowe in the 150
Oh,
sideways.
he's lost it. He's lost it. Oh, he'll be annoyed about that. As I said, this is the trickiest corner of the whole stage. Two cars now.
What a shame. It was looking pretty reasonable up until that point. Now just got to regather and get to that finish line, but it's a big chunk of time.
If you can't throw it off, he'll be very, very annoyed with himself. He's still got to drive sensibly.
Tell you what, the time's down, but considering how much they lost, what could have been for Michael Bowden on this power stage?
It's changed dramatically. I had to back up in there. Yeah. Just too much rear brake bias, and we've gone as much as we might have to have a look at that before we start.
So here's the Kumo replay, and this was the critical moment, Ross.
It certainly was. As he said, locked the back brakes up, and she came in and went onto the inside of the corner, I'll tell you what, he'd be very, very annoyed with that.
So despite the slower time than Rowe, our first qualifier displaces the wild card at the top spot. But that could well change when Adrian Coppin takes his turn. Clouds are rolling in here north of Adelaide at Scouts Rally SA, but the rain's holding off for the ARMORALL Power Stage. Dean is with our next qualifier now.
First of our team sits in Australia cars, Adrian Coppin and Tim Batten. Tricky conditions out there. It's just caught out Michael Bowden on one of the corners. It becomes hard to judge when it's inconsistent, doesn't it, Adrian?
Oh, really? That's interesting. No, we've had a bit of rain since qualifying, so yeah, obviously the conditions have changed somewhat, and it's going to be for one of those ones to make sure you get through, I think.
You qualified fourth, you're a chance for some points, and it'd be nice to pick some of those up. So when you hear that, and it's a chance that people could make a mistake, could be points on the cards, or you could just be quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've got to try and get those points, but this is a bit of a different power stage than normal. We'll actually start in a couple of hours, the proper rally, so that whole risk versus reward thing is got to come into factor as well.
That's very true. Good luck, guys. So, of course, exactly right. What he's saying there, guys, is today, different to most Super Series, our Heat 1 starts this afternoon, so they have to bear that in mind.
Yeah, really valid point, Dean. The event run over 3 separate heats with 4 stages on the Friday afternoon.
Well, this, of course, is the first year for the Citroens, and they dominate in Europe, of course.
And Ross, on balance, Adrian Coppin and Tim Batten have had a pretty impressive first half of the season, landing on the podium twice in 3 rounds. They've just chipped away and been very consistent, and that's the approach he's taking into this power stage.
100 flat crest. 50 flat crest.
Down the hill.
And 100 turn left 3, water.
Let's check the marker, and he's ahead of Bowden and Cheers. Terrific, nice and tight on the entry to that left-hander at the Can-Am split.
He certainly carried more speed than Bowden into that creek crossing.
Yeah, slippery braking, turn right 3, slippery exit.
This is the corner, off camber. And very slippery, he's out wide. Very wide.
Hug left 3. Let's go wide and ramp it.
Yes, wide approach, that's the way to do it. Cut in nice and tight.
Stay right on big crest. And 100, stay right.
What a tricky set of circumstances for the competitors. They know they've got an afternoon of rallying still to come, but these stages require commitment. They are fast. And up he continues.
Going through there nicely as well.
300. Fast right 6 becomes brake right 5, turn left 3. Fast right 6 becomes brake right 5, turn left 3.
Now, 147.
Still good performance by Alan Rowe on that basis in top speed terms, but this is a tidy run so far.
He's got through, first one to get through there nicely. Up past the lake, can he do it?
Right on the edge.
Yeah.
Just kisses the edge of the lake there. Adrian Coppin and Tim Batten in the Citroen.
This will be a good run. He's been tidy the whole way through.
Jump 100 flight finish.
.214.
Better time than before. Slower. Felt better.
It looked better. Well done.
The rain we've had between the qualifying run and this run here has changed the road a lot, so picking the braking points is interesting. We were 2 seconds slow on the first run, so I'm interested to see what the guys behind do.
Came through there nicely, nice wide and tight on the exit. Got a bit untidy there, just sort of cars moving around.
So the Warhope Warrior is knocked out. Coppin and Batten move into position, awaiting the next competitor, who, fittingly, is their teammate.
Tony Sullins and Julia Barclay here on the line. Third quickest. Your teammate's just gone fastest, although the times are slower than the qualifying run, so obviously the conditions have changed a little bit out there.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, we've had a nice little shower just come through, so all the chopped up bits will be fairly sloppy, I'd imagine.
Which makes it hard from your first run. You were quite competitive. His Coppin's done a 2:14.4, so like I said, it's a bit hard to judge exactly what's gone out there with the condition change, but you were snapping at the heels of the front two. I reckon there's some good points up for grabs for you guys, and I think you said to me before you've got a little bit left in this car.
Yeah, I didn't do very well through there, to be honest with you, and I reckon there's a lot more bit left in it, but if it's slippy, it's going to be a push.
5, 4, 3, 1, go. 100.
Now, Rusty, interesting thing here is Sullins on Kumo 700s. Now, they found these in the warehouse and they're about 10 years old. And with a rally tyre, they do start to get a bit harder as they get older. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
Remember, under the allocation for the power stage, they had that extra set of tyres, but we haven't really had a need for mud tyres in recent time in this championship. So this could be a clever play. Will it work out for Sullins and Julia Barkley?
Crest to crest straight and dip into crest. Break wide entry.
Coming up to the first split.
3.5 water.
Breakthrough podium in Queensland for these guys last time out. They're first for 2014, but they're down at the Can-Am split.
And keep left into keep right over crest.
Now, I really don't know, Rusty, whether these tyres will make a difference because even though the surface is slippery, it's quite hard underneath. So will this make an advantage? I don't really know, you know.
He's a hard charger, Tony Sullins. Let's see what he can do in this second split here. Tidy lines and not overexerting the Citroen either, short shifting it would seem.
When you come to that crest, you've got to keep left, otherwise you'll go into the sign. Oh, just a bit of a hesitation there. He's carried a bit of speed.
He's recovered. Yep. He's recovered here at the Polaris pinch, so well done. And it's an inter-team battle here that's going on as well, so good work.
100. Very long right.
They change early. You can hear they don't use a lot of revs with the Citroens. They change at a very low rev range. Here they comes High Tech 149. Not the fastest. Oh!
Trying to arrest all that speed.
It's all over.
And he knew well before the corner that he was in trouble. What a shame for Tony Sullins. The top speed looked good, but maybe just too much.
It's so hard to read that corner. It's a blind crest before the left-hander, and that's caught him out.
What can he recover on the run to the line? This is a positive for his teammate, Adrian Coppin. There's the time, and they're well outside it, as you can see. What a costly corner it turned out to be. 2 minute 20.19.
Yeah, that's a bit sad for him.
Dead last, I reckon. Yeah, I got 220.
The car is actually awesome. It's just two big stuff-ups. I went the wrong way with the gears when I got to the first hairpin at the very start, and I was going around there in fifth instead of second, so that was my mistake. And then we got to the end of the straight, and I've been mucking with the brake bias, and it got a bit out of shape, and I ended up overshooting the corner and stalling and starting again, and so yeah, it was just a waste of time. But anyway, we had fun.
Kumo replay here shows the first part of the problem Tony was talking about. Remember, he's had that moment going the wrong way with the sequential shift. Costly, but this was the big one.
That certainly was. And, of course, the paddle shift, very hard to know which way you're going with it. And obviously he did have a problem, but more so a problem there.
Well, a reprieve for Adrian Coppin and Tim Batten into the points, but just how many? Up next, the top two drivers. Our fastest qualifier is preparing for his run in the ARMORALL Power Stage here at Scouts Rally SA, but our Dean Heritage is on the line with the Rally School Mazda 2 right now.
So our championship leaders were the second of the qualifiers, Brennan Reeves and Rihanna Gelsomino. Second quickest, and there's been some drama out there even through that one. We've had Sullins, who's had a misselection of gears, I think, and also overshot a hairpin, so the conditions are very tricky, but it's wide open at the moment.
Yeah, it was really slippery in the qualifying run, Dino. We took it quite easy, but I'm actually busting to go to the toilet now, so I'm planning a really quick, fast run.
I'm sorry about that, mate, because we're probably holding you up, but I found that to work against me in actual fact, so hopefully it works in your favour. You're going for a 2:14.4, so it's a bit hard to know how the qualifying times compare, because you're quite a bit quicker than that, but everyone's had a few little issues.
Yeah, and look, last year I think we were 7 or 8 seconds quicker. The stage is only about 100 metres longer, but it's so wet and slippy. But as long as you stay on this gravel that's in front of us, there's quite a bit of grip. I tested that in the qualifying. Braking grip's good. Just try not to miss the apexes. Nail the apex, the exit will be right. So there's a few corners in there. We'll see how we go.
Good luck, mate. Go for it. There's a man in a hurry, everybody.
Yep. He'll have had a good think about where to gain time to, given the weather and the way the sun's come out in the recent runs. They're away.
Crest 50, move to right, turn 4 left, big dip.
Now these last two cars, oh! How high can he fly?
Made some adjustments to the aero and the gearing on this Rally School Mazda as well for the weekend to suit the faster roads.
That looks good. As I was saying, these last two cars have really set the benchmark. These two guys are flying. Oh, he's out wide. Gee whiz, that was lucky he went through there and nearly took out a quarter panel.
Rough wide exit.
He is honking.
Let's see what it's like at the Can-Am split here. Significant, is it?
Beautifully.
Just not massive. I thought it'd be more than that, but he's carrying some speed. Brendan Reeves.
He is using all the road plus some more.
Remember, runner-up last round in Queensland. He's determined to protect the series lead here.
As you can see, the car sliding as he comes in, trying to get control. Nicely done through there, but I tell you what, the surface is very unpredictable.
Yeah, flat, sharp crest.
Keeps to the left here as he comes over, otherwise you get the sign. Beautifully done.
Coates Mineshaft, and we're heading for that next split, the Polaris pinch. Let's see if he's been able to increase that time relative to Adrian Coppin. It's a gain. It's an improvement. And they power on in the Rally School Mazda.
Onto the good surface.
Right over 120, tightens 8 in, brake 30, turns 3 minus left, in slippy.
139, he's certainly
not
down
as
a bit.
Fast.
No.
Certainly not as fast. That keeps Alan Rowe at the top of the high-tech oil speed trap. Good line through here from Brendan Reeves.
Rail move to left, 6 minus left, 6 minus right, 3 gate open.
300 or 400 metres to go to the finish through the scout sign. Carrying some speed through there. It should be a reasonable time.
And it will take them to the top of the order.
Yes, 2:13.01.
Great work for the championship leader, but we've got Scott Pedder still to come.
Oh, it was slippery, much slipperier than the qualifying run. Rear brakes kept locking up, so I went even more front. And they still were locking up, so braking quite early. The last few corners, didn't want to have a spin in there, but it's going to be a difficult rally if that's the signs to show of that little stage there.
So here's the Kumo replay.
He certainly didn't back up through there. That little car, they've done some great development on that over the last couple of years. It's really on the money.
There's the message for the Team Citroen. Rally School Mazda wants the ARMORALL top spot.
So our fastest qualifiers and the winner of the last 2 ARMORALL Power Stages, of course, Scott Pedder, Dale Moscott. You're in form, mate. Last year you didn't even like these stages.
I'm getting used to them now. Sort of 10th rally in the car, and you know, the guys Walkinshaw done a great job in this car. So hopefully we can replay that again now.
Yeah. Look, Brendo's just gone fastest. However, everyone has gone slower. Obviously, that bit of rain that's come through and the road being churned up. And I've spied some mud tyres on your car, mate. So that's a different choice.
Yeah, look, we've had them in the truck for 5 years, so I was looking for an opportunity to use them. We tested them on Wednesday, and they were quite good, actually. So hopefully there's been enough rain and enough mud to make the choice right.
Now, the tricky part about that is it will bite down and give you grip, but the sideways grip not so good, so you have to keep this neat and tidy to try and get these times out.
Yeah, we got mostly T-junction, so obviously in and out's what you're worried about, not necessarily sideways grip. So, as I said, it'll be a great call if we win, and somebody else's fault if we don't.
So it'll be interesting, guys. Have a look at those tyres down there. The only other car on muds was Sullins, and of course you did have a few issues, so we'll see how that transforms for everybody.
And worth remembering too that they are outside the normal weekend allocation too, Ross. They're under the 2014 rules. They are allowed to do that for the power stage, aren't they?
They certainly are. And of course, you know, it's mind games. These two front blokes. He's got Brendan baffled on whether or not they're going to be any better. Let's see if they are.
100. Right on brow, 20. Turn 3 left. 50.
Well, the Walkinshaw Performance team, they opted for a medium sort of safe tune for Queensland, but they've gone for something more aggressive here for the faster roads. And we know how much Scott Pedder relishes the chance here. It may have been a frightening event for him some years ago, but he's showing no signs of that here at The Can-Am split just down.
Oh, carrying a lot of speed through there. I'll tell you what, he made a bit of time up, I reckon, on Brendan, just with that corner. So let's see what happens at the second split.
Nothing in it.
50. 3 left, in on crest, into, left on crest, 100. Flat brow 100, wet, medium.
Now let's see how he goes here, because they've been having a bit of trouble as they come up to this second creek crossing.
200.
Yeah, he just sort of moves the car around a
He's
little
up.
bit. Oh, yeah, tell you what.
Up at the Polaris pinch, that second split critical for Scott Pedder. So now he can stretch the legs of the Renault, and let's see what he can do.
Careful on this left. Brake 9 right on crest 20. Turn 2 left in. Slippy maybe.
Oh. Not the fastest.
Good job at the High-Tech Oils speed trap, but he was very quick to arrest the speed, to slow the car down for that corner. This is nice and tidy, Ross.
It is, and in fact, last year, Scott had a problem with that corner, and he got through that nicely because he can remember it very well.
Will this be enough? Will this give him more points toward the championship? Remember, it's closing up, just 16 between he and Brendan Reeves. He does it! He
looks
does
good.
it.
How about that?
Winner
12:30
of the ARMORALL Power Stage as we begin the second half of the championship.
It's running very hot, lost all its water. So good run in there, and car feels really good. Mud tyres was a good choice. Thank God for the rain between qualifying and power stage, so great to win another ARMORALL Power Stage.
Well, let's hope that engine is okay.
Looks like a blown head gasket or something, Rusty. That might be a big trouble for him.
The officials have said here they're going to keep a close eye on how the competitors cut corners over the weekend, and they won't be afraid to issue penalties either. So a hat-trick of ARMORALL Power Stage wins for Scott Pedder and Dale Moscott. This is terrific for them in the championship too.
It was a very, very tricky stage, obviously, with the rain between qualifying and power stage. Lots of puddles out there that weren't there on the first run. So it was a matter of just trying to stay out of them and trying to have a clean run. And it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good.
It's a bit of a confidence builder, obviously. Scotty and I have only been beaten on 2 stages in the entire last 2 rallies, so we think we've got the pace. As you saw out there today, it was probably a situation where we had to control that and bring it back a bit.
That's it for another ARMORALL Power Stage. Pedder now 2 points closer to Reeves, who's ahead in the championship by 14. Next up, the best mix of classic muscle from Australia is pitted against the formidable Group B Audi Quattro, and all of them chasing down the leading Celica of Neil Bates. Welcome back to Scouts Rally SA, where the classic competition stepped up a notch for round 4 with a couple of crowd favourites rejoining. Dave Thompson's antics behind the wheel of his GT Falcon have earned him plenty of followers, and this event would prove no different. The man who built and drove that big V8 3 decades ago was back driving another monster. With 560 horsepower at the rear wheels, former Aussie rally champ Barry Lowe couldn't get all that power to the ground. He and wife Helen were having fun anyway. Reigning classic champ Neil Bates was back with his Toyota Celica and regular co-driver Coral Taylor guiding him through the damp Heat 1 stages to a time sub 5 minutes for the 5.5 Ks. Overnight rain kept the dust at bay and provided more than a few photo opportunities. If it was a photo op the crowd and cameras were looking for, Tomo's other entry, the Audi Quattro in the hands of Stewie Reed, was the stuff dreams were made of. Hardly surprising that Bates had to settle for second behind the formidable Group B monster, even if it was an invitational entry only.
If you look at the movies of many, many years ago, and that's what classic cars are all about, it's giving the people the chance to get to listen to an Audi and see one in action. Not driven as fast as the real guys do it, but at least it's out here having a drive around.
Things hotted up by Heat 2, Jeff David, who'd had a disastrous start in Heat 1 when he slipped off the road in the powerful Porsche 911, was third fastest in the opening stage, a repeat of Jules. The rain of the last week had abated, but pools of water almost required water wings. David was beaten by the other Toyota Celica. In his second outing in the clone RA40, Clay Badenoch showed he meant business. The Bates-prepared car was lacking a Bates-built engine, but still, handling 30% more speed than his old Corolla was a test for the Queenslander and his co-driver Andrew Dunbar.
I was born in South Australia, so it's great to be back down here, and I know this area well from my childhood, and yeah, all I want to do is get some experience on these roads because they're quite fast, and it's a bit new to me, fast car and fast roads.
100 slippy, maybe 5 left.
Electrical gremlins were the biggest challenges though. A rogue ignition wire that had stopped their progress in Heat 1 had been remedied, but the Celica stopped again next heat and they lost second spot. Eventually it restarted. The stop put down to wet electrics from all the water crossings. Still, it was a slippery time underfoot. All in all, it was a tough day in the office for the Baden civil contracting machine.
4 left, opens.
There it is.
I think you're going to have to pull up after.
And a noisy rear end brought an early end to their day. It was a rock that ended the Quattro's march way too early for everyone's liking. The huge horsepower of Barry Lowe's Commodore fired the fatal shot right through the grille, smashing the end off the radiator. Game over for the Audi. Still, the time on the board showed just why the Group B era is so revered. 2.5 seconds a K quicker than even the Celica of Neil Bates. And he was 3 seconds a K quicker than the next fastest classic. The gearbox in the GT Falcon stopped leaking by the start of stage 10. But for good reason. There was none left, and the gears became gear when Tomo was forced to drive the 32 kilometres of Tweeden in third. Jeff David, meantime, made amends for his Heat 1 indiscretion, clawing his way back up the leaderboard. No stage wins for he and Grant Geelan, but second outright for Heat 2. Barry Lowe's battle getting power to the ground ended in favour of the ground when a radius rod broke and the newly rebuilt Commodore speared off into the scenery. He and Helen were fine. The doors were removed from the Commodore before it was rolled back onto its feet and carted home. It'll live to fight another day. All this carnage provided the two classic tortoises with opportunity. Local Bruce Field returned in the Mercedes 280 that his mum once took him to school in. He and wife Julia having fun, consistently bringing the Benz home to a convincing fourth in both the first two heats. Ross Kingham's story is similar.
I was influenced by my friend Bruce Field in the orange Mercedes, following his lead. I thought, well, that's the way to go rallying if that's what you want to do, just have fun with it. Which is what we wanted to do, and so yeah, here we are.
Although maybe not with such a personal attachment.
This was $1,200 off Gumtree. But it was a family car. I was in the same family for 25 years, I think, the family I bought it from. So they were happy to see it put to a more aggressive use, yeah.
More overnight work for the crew in the GT Falcon saw a replacement gearbox fitted to get Tomo back in the game. He held the Volvo out to grab third for the heat, but the brick, made famous by Robbie Francevic in the mid-80s, had the upper hand for the weekend, and Kingham picked up a podium position with his consistency. Jeff David played second fiddle to the man who has come to dominate the classics. There was no making up for slipping off the road on day one. A rare moment for Neil Bates, though, proved he wasn't Mr. Perfect. But not even that, or a jammed float in the carburettor, could stop another win for the RA40 of Bates and Taylor. It was a classic weekend of rallying for the crowd and competitors alike, just the way it ought to be. Coming up next, Henry Knott had one eye on the state championship while the other was on the East Coast Bull Bars National 4-Wheel Drive Series. Welcome back. You're watching Scouts Rally SA. Our resident doctor made another house call on the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship this round. After escaping without injury from his tumble in the Matara last event, Doc Bill Monkhouse was back driving in the shadow of his fast and famous son.
It's been embarrassing for me, but it's good fun still.
But why an SUV?
I really do like the idea. I think Scott's got a grand idea. This car's, owes us around $10,000, $15,000, and we're driving around with the air conditioning on, heater going, everybody's happy. And it's like, it was the same set of tyres. We drove to Queensland on, rated it, drove home on those tyres. They're still on it today, and we're going again. So this is how you go rallying in the ARC and spend maybe $20,000 a year.
So there's the doctor's advice. He and Andrew Booker, that's Dr. 2, might not be able to beat Scott Pedder or Brendan Reeves, but this pair has just the medicine required to enjoy rallying at the highest level in the country. At the serious end of the 4-wheel drive competition, Henry Knott stepped up to take out the East Coast Bull Bars National Series. Former ARC junior James Rodder's Subaru failed early on, so he jumped ship and got behind the wheel of a Mitsubishi Evo 9 as an official course car.
We've kind of swapped to the dark side, I suppose. It feels a little bit weird, but we're going to be on selling the Subaru and moving to this Evo 9 from now on, hopefully.
Like Rodder and Knott, Tim Ravages also contested the state championship, but he blew both chances with engine failure.
Second stage, we just babied it through really slow, just rolling, and then the engine let go totally.
Till this round, Henry Knott's track record in the ARC was less than ideal, but he put aside the crashes and mechanical failures of the past to record a convincing win in the National 4-Wheel Drive and State Championship, 1 minute clear of his nearest rival, Matt Selly. That wraps up the first part of our coverage from Scouts Rally SA. Watch out for all the action from the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship and our program coming up same time next week. Just check your local TV guides there for details and keep up to date with all the latest info at rally.com.au. I'm Greg Rust. We'll catch you next time. Bye for now.
Today's coverage is made possible by Kumho Tyre, Pedder Suspension, ARMORALL, Co-Tyre, Can-Am, Polaris, High-Tech Oils, and our supporting partner East Coast Bull Bars, world's best alloy bull bars.